This is a Walk the Pipeline hike. We are co-sponsoring with Washington Crossing Audubon Society. We want as many people as possible to see the devastation that the proposed PennEast Pipeline will bring to the Ted Stiles Preserve here at Bald Pate Mountain.
There is a great crowd here today that's walking the pipeline and showing all of the value of everything here, all the beautiful preserved land that's here, and what this pipeline would do if it were to come through. So it's just really great that so many people have come out, so many people care about this issue, that to come out early on a Sunday morning to walk this precious area that is paid for with taxpayer dollars. We want to protect this, and we want to stop PennEast, and I think it's really heartening to see this much support from our communities to do that.
What I want to point out is that, as Sharon and others have just mentioned, that PennEast is not going to be running within the JCP&L cleared right away. JCP&L has an easement that starts at this edge and drops down to that blue line, and they only use the north side of the easement. So there's this area that's wooded right through here that PennEast is going to go. We are right here in this parking lot, and you'll see the main line, the center line, will be going probably sitting right somewhere about in there, and then there'll be a 25-foot, it'll be in the middle of a 50-foot permanent right-of-way, so that will always remain cleared. And a lot of these pipes run hot. In North Jersey, you'll see in the wintertime, you'll see where there's a pipeline that the snow is melted, so there are heat effects that I think many of us haven't even talked about, besides clearing. PennEast initially at meetings was saying that this might be a 75-foot to 125-foot right-of-way. They usually kept hedging around 75 feet. If you look at the actual plans, it's a much different story. I like to say PennEast, I don't like to say it, but I feel as if PennEast is metastasizing. Every time I see a plan, things get wider and wider. As we head west along that area, some of the steepest areas, they're actually cleared right away, is 160 feet. Some places it's 145. And there is a strip of trees in between in most of the area. It seems to average around 35 feet, maybe it's 20 in some instances. This is why I call, unfortunately, a Bald Pate mohawk. Instead of being right under the wires or right close to them, you're going to have two rights away with a thin strip of trees in between. And that will add up to a 195-foot incursion into the forest from the edge of the cleared right-of-way. So in some places it'll go 195 feet in, and it will involve a lot of blast. It'll be blasting the whole way and clear cutting. And one of the strange things is, in the steepest areas, it's often the widest because it's hard to get their equipment in there. They're going to come into the hill when we walk up that way, you'll see it's very steep dropping down. They'll have to come into that hillside, level it, and they go straight up. They'll take the whole slope out of the hill to get their equipment in to drop the pipes down. And I think that's why it gets so wide there. PennEast is horizontal drilling going underground, at least that's the plan, under Moore's Creek, over here by Valley Road. They go under before they go under. They go underneath before they go under Pleasant Valley Road, and then they come up here is their exit, and that's 250 feet wide area that they emerge in. What is not clear is the main line runs through here, but there have been reports that up by the Alexaquin Creek crossing, PennEast is marking out trees for removal. So even where they're going underground, they may actually be clearing at least 50 feet because they need to monitor and check the pipeline once it's in operation. One other point I just want to make is, well, just in general, it's 155 feet here, it's 160 there, it's 145, it's 175 down in that direction where it's extremely steep. The other point I want to make is I was looking at the mileages of the route as it changed, and PennEast takes a lot of important bird area mileage. You saw that IBA sign. In New Jersey, I calculated, I believe the number is 42% of the route goes through important bird areas. That's a huge percentage. Overall, it's closer to 27%, but they go through a lot of really good forest and so forth. In New Jersey, I believe they go through it might be as many as 5 important bird areas on the route. And Bald Pate has some of the longest mileage of all. The route through Bald Pate is it's about 2.5 miles long, maybe 2.6. So you look at the width of that and the length, that's a huge, huge impact. Another thing here, where they planned a horizontal drill, they said they were going to do that at the Princeton Ridge on the Montgomery side. They failed and they failed and they failed. They banged all night. They got pipe stuck. They couldn't get it out. We still haven't heard the resolution of that, but we have similar geology here. Bald Pate Mountains, principally mainly all diabase, but by the time you get down to here, you're in, I think it may be the argillite, it may be the Brunswick shales, it's the Passaic Formation, and between the two, it gets heavily baked where that hot igneous diabase hit the Passaic Formation. It really solidified it. It could be very hard. It's quite possible they're not going to be able to horizontal drill there, and we'll find out when they get there. So it could be much more of a mess than you see now. And there were 2 other things I want to point out. They have 2 access roads coming through Bald Pate. That means all the heavy equipment coming in and out, they'll be using this driveway through here. They'll obviously obliterate the parking lot, they'll obliterate the kiosk, they cross the trail twice. But also there's a very long access road, I think it's 1,300 feet, way down there coming in through the woods. I think there's a little bit of an old lane there, but it'll be a big mess back in there.